Welcome to Old Folks Racing PS4, round 33 of the championship. Current standings after 32 rounds, Kev Allen is the leader, followed by Simon Allen, Andy Booth, Diogo Silva, and Andy Bramell with Jumbo in 6th. Qualifying for this first race saw Kev Allen and Andy Booth on the first row, Simon Allen and Diogo Silva on the second, with only 7 entrants here in this round at Imola. It's Old Folks Racing holiday season as we wait for the green light to get this race started. And let's see, and it's a perfect getaway for Kev Allen in that yellow Corvette. Excellent getaway. Everyone seems to get away safely. Let's see the approach to Tamburello on the first right. And someone is in the grass. That's Diogo Silva. Multiple carnage there. Oh dear. Simon Allen is in it. Diogo Silva is in it. Phil is involved as well, and I think Jumbo was in the middle of that carnage. We have some people have lost a few positions. Andy Booth is up to 3rd, and he has avoided that carnage quite nicely. And Scott Daveley, incredibly, after qualifying last in 7th place, has gone up to 2nd. Would you believe it? Only in Old Folks Racing we see such competitive moves. Scott Daveley, great start, but Kev Allen has managed to open a gap of more than 4 seconds already. And we are in the first lap of 12. So Kev Allen had a perfect getaway, and he in fact avoided all the carnage in Tamburello, which I think was triggered by a move of Diogo Silva, who is currently dead last, trying to overtake Phil, and Phil then spun into the path of Simon Allen, and from then it was all sorts of mayhem in the Tamburello chicane. We now have Kev Allen the leader, followed by Scott Daveley, Andy Booth, and then Jumbo. And here we see Phil into the back of Jumbo, so Phil quite aggressive there on the first lap. He's probably a bit frustrated that he lost so many positions on the first lap as we finish the first lap now. So Phil is in 5th, Jumbo is in 4th. Simon Allen has lost a lot of time because in fact he spun and had to recover from a spin, and he's in 6th. And Diogo Silva, who was probably the trigger of all of this, has also spun. As we see now, Phil making a move. It's Phil defending actually from Simon Allen. Phil has made a mistake there in Tamburello on the second lap as we go through the Villeneuve chicane towards Tosa, the Tosa corner, very famous corner here in Imola, as we follow Phil, who is also the responsible driver for this combo. Last week we had a British car in Texas Motor Speedway. This week we have the Corvette, very American car, in a very traditional European circuit here at Imola as they approach the Acqua Minerale part of the circuit. It used to be a chicane many years ago, but then as we see Phil really defending hard from Simon Allen. Simon again is a little bit frustrated. He was on the front row. He really should have made a clean getaway, and he should really be challenging for the lead right now. But just like in the last round at Texas Motor Speedway, nothing seems to go right for Simon Allen these days. He's now stuck in 6th place. He's behind Phil. Phil is quite a competitive driver here with this combo, and he doesn't really have to make life easy for Simon Allen. He wants to get a good result on his own, and therefore Simon is going to have to work hard here to try and recover a few more positions, because frankly Kev Allen is now with more than 8 seconds already at the end of lap 2, which is quite extraordinary really. Kev Allen seems to be in a different postcode as Andy Booth has spun. Andy Booth has spun in Tamburello again, very tricky chicane to get right. Andy has moved to last as the back is still quite close to one another. So a single mistake has costed Andy Booth 3rd place, and he's now stuck in last really. as we see continuing Simon Allen on the gearbox of Phil, but Phil making such a good job here of defending without completely blocking Simon, but really Simon needs to find a way around Phil. This is quite a narrow track as well here at Imola, and there aren't that many obvious overtaking points here at the Acqua Minerale, not possible, and actually Simon has made a small mistake and lost a few tenths of a second there. In front of these two we have Jambo. Jambo is now in third. He has inherited, as we see now at the Variante Alta field, running wide. Very easy to run wide in this chicane, and a very unforgiving race director will threaten you with penalties as soon as you put the wheel off the line. As we see Simon Allen now on lap 3, and he's still in 5th place with Scott, Jambo and Phil in front of him. At least he has visual contact with the trio of drivers that are between him and Kev Allen. He can see that 2nd place looming into the horizon, and clearly he wants more out of this race. As Jambo now spins. Oh, Jambo spins in Tamburello, and someone has also span into him. I think it was Andy Booth again. Andy Booth has as a recovering Jambo now is in 6th. So Jambo has spun, and then I think it was Andy Booth has run into his side, and Andy clearly not getting a break as Jambo runs wide again at the Villeneuve corner, and now is back to dead last as Diogo Silva makes up a place and is now in 6th. Simon Allen is in 5th, and I think it was in fact Simon Allen. I apologize. I think it was Simon Allen that ran into Jambo, because he lost quite a lot of time there, and he's in 5th. Jambo has dropped down. Andy Booth has been delayed, but is now recovered to 4th, as Simon Allen now is approaching Andy Booth for 4th place, and in the meantime Scott Daveley and Phil really making quite an impression here, because we are used to seeing them normally running in the top 10, but probably in like 6th, 7th, 8th is the most common position to see them. But here, completely on merit, they are showing the way to other drivers, and Simon Allen probably has a bit of pace here, but he was stuck behind Phil, and now he's stuck behind Andy Booth. So Simon Allen clearly going from bad to worse here. He's made up position, but he's still trying to get the clean overtake. As we see now the two cars approaching Tamburello. Will he make a move? Not quite close to make the move. Andy Booth defends, really late braking, but now Simon Allen is on the outside for the second part of the Tamburello chicane. As they approach the next chicane, will it work? It won't. It won't work, as Andy Booth now is defending from Simon, and now on the outside at Tosa, and I think Simon Allen has the job done. No, he hasn't, because Andy Booth has the inside line, which is the best line for this particular corner. Here he comes on the outside now in the approach to Piratella. Will Simon Allen finally manage to overtake Andy Booth? He's trying the outside, and really 3 corners in a row. Simon Allen has been trying the long way around, which is a tricky way to overtake cars, especially with these cars, which are quite powerful, and of course everyone in Old Fox Racing PS4 has exactly the same car with exactly the same default setup. So clearly it's only the skill of the driver and knowledge of the circuit and preference for the car that makes a driver go quicker or slower here in this very competitive championship, as we are already in lap 5, and Kev Allen, we haven't even seen him because he's already in a different postcode. He's already in a different postal city altogether, because he's got more than 10 seconds, make it 17 seconds lead after 5 laps, and that's absolutely incredible. As we see it now, Simon Allen in the start-finish line, in the approach to Tamburello. Will he make a move now? And then the booty seems to be closer than in the last lap. He's trying to go for the inside this time. Will it work side by side into Tamburello and Simon Allen? Is he going to? Yes, he is! He's got the job done. And the boot tried unsuccessfully to defend on the outside and even managed to lose a little bit of time there. Simon Allen now in 4th, and the cameras have not shown us, but Phil has made a move on Scott Daveley and is now sitting in an incredible 2nd place with almost 5 seconds advantage over Scott. So Scott's still in the podium position here, but Phil now relatively comfortable in this 2nd position as we now follow our leader, the number 64 yellow Corvette of Kev Allen, and this is the Le Mans livery of the Corvette. That normally turn up in the green numbers for the GT Pro class, and the yellow livery, the very classic Corvette livery. Very competitive in Le Mans, also very competitive in the hands of Kev Allen in this race here at Imola. He is now cruising to another victory. He's got a lot of victories right now, but Simon Allen actually has more victories. He has 9 compared to Kev's 8, so clearly Kev would like to change that to his advantage. Kev has also scored a large amount of 2nd places, which really have sort of like underpin his fantastic lead he has in this championship. As someone has run wide there, it was Scott Daveley. Was this a connection problem, or is this really no? And he's got again into the gravel, or does he? I'm not entirely sure if this has to do with Scott's connection or if it's a real mistake there in Tamburello. In any case, Simon Allen is now in pursuit of 3rd place. With Andy Booth losing a little bit of time, losing a little bit of touch with Simon there, and Diogo Silva, who hasn't really been very competitive so far in this race. He has either been last or 6th. Diogo is not a particular fan of the circuit, and now Simon Allen has gone off. Simon Allen has gone off at Piratella. Just before the Acqua Minerale corner, and Andy Booth has now recovered to be again in Simon's gearbox, and then he braking very late there, almost getting a penalty for track limits, but not quite. He's done a good job holding the car there. He wants that place back, and Simon Allen is now trying to tame this beast, this Corvette GTE, into doing what he wants, which is to go more quickly to get that podium position from Scott Daveley, who continues to do an awesome job defending from drivers that are ahead of him in the championship, and really lining up quite a lot of points here for Scott, also for Phil. It's a big scoring day if it continues like this, especially taking into account that Stuart Brand is not here with us today, as I believe he's on holiday. So big points for Phil, that would be quite useful. Big points for Scott Daveley as well, which definitely puts him ahead quite nicely of Todd Antonio, who is also away for this round. So really old folks trying to manage as best as they can, trying to make as many points as possible. There are a lot of rounds in this championship, and every point counts towards the final standings. As we see Jambo here. Now Jambo has started this race by getting involved in the carnage of the first lap, but then he's recovered quite nicely to 3rd place, eventually dropping down the order quite quickly to 7th and last here. We are already on lap 8. Here's Diogo Silva in that number 20 very colorful Corvette. He's in 6th place and really not managing to gain any ground on Andy Booth there. He is around 3 seconds behind as we now follow Simon Allen trying to make yet another challenge for the podium here. He's not taking Andy Booth with him, so Scott Daveley is going to have quite an exciting end for his race, because he's got two drivers behind who really think that they should be ahead, and I wonder how this is going to end, as really in the Rivazza corner, the last corner of this circuit, Scott Daveley really making a mistake there, or maybe he has some problem with his car, because now Simon Allen is very much behind Scott, and will he manage to line up and move into Tamburello? Doesn't look like he's close enough, but you never know with Simon Allen. He's a very aggressive driver. He can just try aggressive moves. He can just there you go in Tamburello, now trying again the outside, which doesn't really work. Now on the inside, but Scott is already defending the position. Into the Villeneuve chicane, we are on lap 9 out of 12, and clearly we've got a battle for the podium here. Scott Daveley runs wide into Villeneuve and really loses a bit of time and the position as well. Now here comes Andy Booth on the inside of Toza, and he gets the job done as well. Scott Daveley has, oh dear, and Scott Daveley has actually made a mistake there, and he's pressed the reset button, I believe, because he was on the left-hand side of the picture the last time I saw him running wide, and then he mysteriously appeared on the right-hand side, and that can only mean one thing, and that's the famous or infamous reset button that this game allows. Many series do not allow the use of this reset button unless you are upside down, but here in Old Fox Racing we want people to recover as quickly as possible from their mistakes in order to have more battles, more challenges, more competitive racing. Scott has actually now dropped down to 6th position, so he's really in the space of 2 corners, which were the Villeneuve chicane and the Toza corner. He's lost 3 positions to Simon Allen, Andy Booth and Diogo Silva. Simon is now running 3rd, Hoodie Challenge 2nd. He has quite a lot of work to do because he's 7 seconds behind Phil, who is 22 seconds, a whopping 22 seconds behind Kev Allen, who's really seems that he's driving a GT1, not a GTE today, because he's so far ahead of his opponent, a commanding lead from the commanding leader of this championship, and probably the most likely person to win this championship. Is it over already? Is it the title number 1 for Kev Allen in the Old Fox Racing PS4? We don't think that Simon Allen is making up some time, or marginally. He's now 6 seconds behind Phil. Andy Booth was very close to Simon Allen just a couple of laps ago after Simon made that mistake at the Pirata. He's now in 4th and 2 seconds behind, with Diogo Silva only a couple of seconds behind Andy, and let's see if these 3 will get any closer in the closing stages of this race. Kev Allen now coming to the start-finish line to start his 11th and penultimate lap. Diogo Silva is actually quite close to Andy Booth. Maybe we can see a battle for 4th shaping up here at the Variante Alta. Again, running wide, but within the boundaries of acceptable limits here in this corner. Going down to the braking, very, very heavy braking point here for Rivazza. Also very unstable braking point, as it's quite easy to lose control of the car and the braking for the second part of the Rivazza. And now into the start-finish line. I'm sure that some of you will remember that this start-finish line used to look quite different many years ago. And of course the first chicane of Tamburello used to be an incredible fast corner where unfortunately Ayrton Senna lost his life in 1994, and we never had the old circuit back again. It was inevitable that some changes had to be made in the name of safety. It's also a pity that the Imola, the old Imola Classic circuit actually never made it to any game as well. It would be great to run that circuit again, because it was quite a spectacular circuit, I would say, much more spectacular than now, but still quite a classic European venue that many of these old folks really like. As Simon Allen now is only 4 seconds behind Phil, and Phil has already sensed some threat from Simon. Unfortunately, Simon only has 1.5 laps, so I think unless Phil makes a huge mistake or has some sort of terminal problem with his blue Corvette, I think we're going to see Phil scoring his first podium of the year, which is quite nice to have another driver on the podium. We've had, I believe, 7, 8, 9 drivers on the podium, and Phil is going to be the 10th driver if it continues like this, as Cavalli has already started his last lap. So the top 10 in the championship all have podiums, which is really incredible and a testament to how competitive these drivers are. Some are more competitive in some types of machinery, in some types of circuits, but in Old Folks Racing we have a very high amount of diversity in everything we do, from all the drivers that participate here to the circuits and the machines. We dare to say, and now Simon Allen has made a mistake, and oof, it's a complete 360-degree spin, which looked quite tidy. Unfortunately for Simon, it also meant that he lost a position, and he may lose another one as Diogo Silva, who has also lost a bit of touch there with Andy Booth. He used to be closer, so maybe Diogo has made some sort of mistake as well. But Andy Booth just said, thank you very much, I'll take that podium, as he continues to try to consolidate his third position in the championship, and certainly finishing in third, and Diogo Silva finishing in fifth with Andy Bramall also on holiday, is going to please Andy Booth. Thank you very much. Simon Allen making another mistake, losing a few more points in there, and really I wonder where his head is at the moment, because he does not seem, after the Red Bull Ring, and here it's Diogo Silva now. Diogo Silva has definitely now made a mistake, and maybe, oh dear, he's lost time and he's pressed the reset button just at the right time because Jumbo was coming. Cavalli wins. I think that was obvious from the first corner that Cav was going to be the winner of this race. He's done a fantastic job. Yet another victory, his 9th of the season. And put your hands together and clap for this man who is about to score his first ever podium in Old Folks Racing. It's Phil. He chose this combo and he took advantage of it, as he should. Second place for Phil. Well done. Andy Booth is going to be third. He is going to keep Simon Allen behind that number 50 green Corvette of Andy Booth, now crossing the line with Simon Allen in fourth, and I believe Diogo Silva has managed to keep fifth, just managed to keep fifth from Jumbo, who has actually overtaken Scott Daveley, who finishes in seventh, and that was a bit of a disappointment for Scott after running in second place for such a long time. We still have a race to come. Here's confirmation of your result. Join us for race 2 shortly. Thank you very much.